Shailene and Theo join us here in studio. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. So what's it like? You hear our very nice co-host here reading the intro, and behind him, you guys are now the face of this hugely popular book written by, really, Veronica Roth. I mean, Shailene, what does it mean to you? You see your picture up there, and
I see that, but I'm like, who is that chick? Like, that can't be me.
that's you. Does it feel like a long time ago when you first got signed on and you got fitted for your first outfit?
It does. It does. It was less than, I guess, really a year ago that the film, we began it, but we've done other films since then and sort of, dove back into our own personal lives, and so it does feel like very, very long ago.
Did you know when you were filming that this was going to change your lives, Theo?
No, I don't know if it's going to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows really? It's kind of hard to quantify. But I guess we saw the movie Sunday for the first time, the final cut, and inevitably there's trepidation when you see a film because you only have the control of the scenes you're in. So we saw it and we were genuinely really proud of it, and we think it's really honoured the material, but also kept like a visceral, dark quality to it. So we just kind of hope it has its own journey. That's what we're excited about, really.
Jennifer Lawrence actually played a role in your taking the role.
Yeah, she gave me some great sound advice and just sort of let me in on her Hunger Games experience, and through her words, I was sort of inspired to want to do a franchise for the first time.
What were you resisting? Why were you afraid that maybe this wasn't for you?
I had just come off a television show in which I signed a 6-year contract, and so, sort of signing a contract for anything more than a few months legally can be a little bit scary and binding. As well as some of the, some other personal things that come with being in a big franchise, but, yeah.
You were in, of course, Descendants with George Clooney.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking about, what did you take away from that experience working with him?
Besides the Golden Globe nomination.
So much. I mean, George is such a solid human, so he's probably the most grateful person I've ever met, and it wasn't really advice that he gave me, but it was through example that I really learned gratitude and that I learned fun. He's just a fun, good, grounded, grateful dude.
And it's easy when you find stardom at a young age to get lost in this world.
Is it easy?
Well, I'm not going to start naming names, but, I mean, you're different from the others who have
She's
this.
different. She's divergent.
There you go.
Nice
one, Theo. And then there was Downton Abbey.
Briefly, there was Downton Abbey for about 30 seconds.
A pivotal role.
In many
More
ways.
than 30 seconds.
Maybe 2.5 minutes. I don't know.
In fact, some of the people around here are wishing, like a soap opera, you'd come back on that show after the dead.
Like, Dr. Drake Ramore. Do you remember that in Friends?
Oh,
no? Does anyone get that reference?
Yes.
So I'm thinking here, you guys signed on. You gotta be buddies. I mean, what was it like, the chemistry? Because now you got 2 more movies, at least in this particular franchise coming up.
Yeah. No, I mean, we're very fortunate to have gotten along. We don't get along anymore.
We're falling out. Yeah, we're lucky because you don't know who your co-stars are going to be, and inevitably anything you do, you work with people, and I'm sure some you really love, and some you.
Sometimes I like them. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but luckily we get on, and it makes things much easier because not only is the movie big, but you on these big franchises or big films, the press commitment inevitably is big too. So.
Yeah. Now, in this movie, for all the viewers out there who aren't too familiar, there are these different factions, and you guys are part of Dauntless. And the Dauntless faction, they don't walk, they run everywhere, they jump. It's so physical. So, was it like that for you guys? A lot of training beforehand and during, and a lot of bumps and bruises?
There were a lot of bumps and bruises, there was a lot of training, and then throughout the film, I mean, every single day there was either, whether it was walking through a hallway for, 10 hours straight, or whether it was climbing a Ferris wheel or doing a big fight scene, there was some sort of physical activity that we
exactly.
endured.
We kind of did a lot of prep before. We had about a month, and I think, we were saying before, if you don't come away from a big stunt sequence with a couple of bruises, then you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, it's so true.
Had you read the book prior to knowing that this
We still haven't read the book.
You still haven't?
We didn't even know what it's about.
Yeah.
You hadn't. I hadn't.
I found out about the movie through the. I found out about the book through the movie.
Right.
Yeah. So subsequently, when I started in the process, I read the books. Yeah.
It's amazing because in finding out about, you had read the book, I hadn't, and realizing that Veronica Roth, the author, is 25.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Crazy.
That is nuts.
Yeah.
She wrote this book when she was 21 years old.
Yeah.
And you guys obviously got to work with her, right? Did
Yeah.
she do wasn't she an extra?
Yeah.
Yeah, she is in one of the scenes. She's in the zipline sequence.
See, I love that, though, because a lot of the authors are doing that. They're inserting themselves a little bit in these different films, and it's just...
It's a Hitchcock cameo, right?
Well, yeah, and when you think of these characters, and especially yours, I mean, it's great that these female figures are taking on these bigger-than-life characters. I just love that, you know? And evolving. I love that about your character.
We're going to take a short break. When we come up on the morning show, we're going to continue our conversation with the stars of Divergent. We're going to find out how Theo affected 2 years of Downtown Abbey in just one episode. We're going to continue that discussion and more when we come back. Welcome back to the morning show. I want to talk specifically about something that I read you said in Esquire, and I think it's a really strong... Don't worry, it's good.
What did I say? Oh, no.
There's a lot of things wrong with our modern day. We idolize people we don't know. We idolize people who aren't doing things in a certain way, but dressing a certain way, and that's not something I want to participate in. I want to idolize people who are out there every day fighting for beautiful causes.
Yeah, I do.
Is it Hollywood is so fake? What is it? What the world
No,
is...
I mean, Hollywood definitely has a part in, even if you just look at actors, you know, there's sort of this expectation that actors become models now and wear like very fancy dresses on carpets or be a certain way, talk a certain way, dress a certain way. And right now I think the world is at this crux where there's a lot of, it's always been like this, but there's a lot of really important dynamic changes that need to happen or questions that need to be asked and then answers that need to start being considered as far as even global warming and the environment. For if we want to sort of stay on this planet for a long time, we have to start taking care of it. So yeah, I really admire. People always ask, what actors do you look up to? And there's a lot that I do look up to. But there's also a lot of other people that I think are really dynamic that don't necessarily have the platform that we have. We can make this about ourselves, given the platform that we have, or we can use it for a cause. And that's sort of what I meant by that. Like, use all this attention for something that's greater than just an individual life.
A soapbox for good.
What?
Using your soapbox for good.
Yeah, totally. I mean, why not? Pay it forward.
Yeah.
Every actor has another talent, and I know Theo is a bit of a beatboxer.
Oh.
I just happen
He's
to have
a lot of a
He's a lot
beatboxer.
of a beatboxer because you have a background in music.
The way you just like...
Would you do us maybe 10, 20 seconds of some beatboxing?
I can't really hear much on this. Here we go.
Theo's rapping on the mic. We're here to have a good time, and that man is dancing to
There you
Theo
go. Look outside.
rapping on the mic. Well, he's not really rapping. He's doing a little beatbox.
Nice.
Wow, that was
I didn't rhyme, but that was really good.
That was
You're
so good.
So good. I was like scared when you brought that. I was like, oh no, is he going to go? Is he going to play
scared.
along?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Is he going to say, no way?
You're a good sport. Music,
good
though.
sport.
Music before acting.
Yes, yeah, that's kind of what I was doing, where I started. Yeah, I kind of came to acting a bit later. Before music was naively. I thought that's kind of where I was going to go, and I kind of did for a little bit, but then ended up here. So.
You know what, Theo? I think, and Shailene, I think the reason why so many people look up to celebrities is that they see them as, conquering their fears. Because it's really not easy to go in there and audition and say, yes, I can be this, I can play this character. And one of the key things in this movie is going in there and overcoming your fears.
Yeah.
What's one of your biggest fears?
If I was doing this interview and I looked down and suddenly I
You had
was
pink shoes on.
I was naked,
You were
covered
naked.
in milk.
That's a fear.
Being naked. Is that a recurring dream?
No, that isn't a recurring dream. What would be a fear? What would be a genuine fear?
Space.
Space is a good one. Yeah, I'm stealing Shay's here.
Yeah.
Mate, I would being torn apart by a great white shark would not be great. Yeah, even though I like them, like the idea sometimes when you're in the water, it's dusk, the idea of just you're gone.
Yeah.
Shay?
Say I love you, circle of life, buddy.
Yeah.
Submarines in space. Yeah.
Smells
Terrifying.
big.
Terrifying. It's just so unknown, the ocean, way down that deep. That's the fish's territory.
One of the things I love about this movie is that I think it's true to life, and in fact that everybody at some point in their life obviously the younger they usually happens, they feel like they don't fit in until you find that person or that opportunity where suddenly, hey, maybe I'm not alone in this world. And that's the message I got from the movie. I mean, I think it's got a strong message as well as entertainment.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it's about, identity, and it's really Triss's journey from discovering herself. But it's also about choice, I think, and that concept of determinism. You know, the choices you make, do they affect your future, or are they predetermined? Can you affect your future by making these choices and being brave enough to kind of accept your differences and diverge from the normal path? You know.
Wow, that was really good.
Thanks, player.
I always say
buddy.
you don't want to peak too soon. You want and for every hurdle comes experience and depth and I guess wisdom in life, right?
So true.
Yeah, very true.
You guys are great. Thank you,
Keep
Theo.
having fun, you
Thanks for
guys.
having us.
Continued success, and hope you can come back.
Thank you.
very much.
Us too.
Awesome.